You walk into a massive sports bar on a Sunday, and there's 100 different TVs glowing on the walls.
Oh, yeah, just everywhere you look.
Right. And they're perfectly synced up. And I think your brain just kind of assumes someone, well, plugged a bunch of screens into the wall or maybe wrestled with this giant knot of cables in a back room somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. We naturally project our own, like, living room setups onto that space, just multiplied by 100.
But today we're tearing down that illusion. We're taking a deep dive into this really extensive commercial equipment catalog from HDTVSupply.
Right, to really look at the invisible infrastructure that actually powers those walls of screens.
Exactly. We're talking heavy-duty, enterprise-grade networking gear that, operates entirely behind the scenes.
And the sheer scale we're looking at in this catalog is, I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around at first.
It really is.
Because you have to forget a basic video splitter. We're looking at modular systems like these massive Wolfpack matrix switchers. They can handle up to 160 inputs and 160 outputs simultaneously.
Okay, wait. 160 screens at once.
Yeah, all at the exact same time.
Are these matrix switchers basically acting like, I don't know, like hyper-caffeinated air traffic controllers for the sports bar, just sort of pointing different games to different walls?
That is actually a perfect way to think about it. Imagine the video feeds, like, from those DirecTV apps as incoming airplanes.
Okay.
And the TVs are the runways. If you just, send all those planes in at once, you get a catastrophic collision.
Which in this case means what? Just bad TV.
Right. You get terrible lag, dropped frames, or frozen screens right in the middle of a play. The switcher's job is to dynamically route specific packets of video data to precise runways.
Right, exactly when they need to get there.
Exactly. At the exact millisecond. It takes a staggering amount of processing power to prevent a pileup, especially with 4K 60 hertz or even 8K video.
Let's pause on the physical side of this, though. Because if I want to route a football game to 100 different TVs, I'm imagining an absolute nightmare of thick copper wire.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, why introduce massive data processors into the mix? Can't a commercial venue just run, really long, heavy-duty HDMI cables everywhere?
Well, because physics gets in the way.
Physics?
Yeah. If you try to push uncompressed, high-definition video over a standard copper HDMI cable for more than, I don't know, a few dozen feet, the signal just degrades and dies.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't realize it dropped off that fast.
It really does. Plus, those cables are incredibly bulky. They're an absolute nightmare to pull through commercial ceilings. So the industry had to pivot.
Okay, so what's the workaround then? How are they actually moving that much video?
Well, they stopped treating video as a traditional signal.
Right.
And they started treating it as pure IT data. So the catalog is dominated by something called AV over IP.
AV over IP.
Yeah, and the nodes range from like $150 to $650 each. They take the raw video feed, chop it up into thousands of tiny data packets, and shoot it across standard CT6 LAN cables.
Wait, so the sports game is just traveling over a standard computer network, like an email or a web page?
Precisely. They use heavy-duty NETGEAR-managed network switches to handle the load. And the beauty of this is the infinite scalability. If you want to add another TV on the patio, you don't need to run a 200-foot HDMI cable all the way back to a central brain.
You just plug it in somewhere crazy.
Exactly. You just plug the TV into the nearest network node. It completely turns video distribution into highly manageable, routed network traffic.
Which completely changes the level of reliability we're talking about here.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if this is all running on a managed network, chopping up massive amounts of video data, it has to be basically fail-safe, right? Like a hiccup in the router means the whole wall goes black.
Right, it has to be bulletproof.
And that actually explains a really surprising section of this catalog. It's not just sports bars and concert venues buying this stuff.
No, not at all.
There are entire purchasing pipelines dedicated exclusively to government entities.
Right, they list TAA-approved products.
Yeah. And we're talking strict, highly regulated procurement channels meant specifically for federal agencies, like the federal GSA schedule, the System for Award Management, even the NASA SATOP program. So what does this all mean? Are we saying NASA is buying the same Wolfpack networking gear as my local pub for rocket launches? Or do they just have a really cool cafeteria?
Well, probably both. But seriously, yes, because to a network router, data is just data.
Right, doesn't care what it is.
Exactly. The underlying technology doesn't care if it's transmitting a touchdown pass or a real-time telemetry reading from a satellite launch. Enterprise-grade AV is critical infrastructure now.
Wow.
Government agencies need these exact same massive AV over IP networks for emergency command centers, tactical communications, security operations.
So they use the same fail-safe technology because, well, I guess a drop frame in a command center is a lot more serious than a frozen screen during the Super Bowl.
Spot on. They demand zero latency, perfect synchronization, and absolute reliability. And it just so happens that modern entertainment venues now require that exact same military-grade performance to operate.
I love that. So the next time, our listeners walk into a sports bar to grab some wings, they can look past the TVs.
Yeah, you're actually sitting in the middle of a high-tech, military-grade data routing center.
Silently and perfectly orchestrating millions of packets of data a second.
It completely changes how you look at the ceiling tiles, doesn't it?
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
But it also leaves me with a somewhat unsettling thought.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Well, if local bars require the exact same highly managed enterprise-level network switches as a federal government command center just to keep the screens on, what does that mean for our own living rooms?
That's a good question.
Our smart homes are getting exponentially more complex,
Mhm.
filled with connected screens, appliances, all these devices.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Right, so if our houses are slowly turning into these mini command centers, who is managing our network? And how vulnerable are we? It's definitely something to mull over the next time your smart TV mysteriously drops its Wi-Fi connection.